There are many cameras I've worked with throughout the years. But there is one particular camera I fell in love with, and after years of using it, I still think it's one of the best cinema cameras. It's Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Even though it was announced in 2018, the BMPCC 4K is a filmmaker's dream, delivering cinema quality videos that a lot of newer mirrorless cameras still lack. I shot the whole sci-fi short film on this thing. It has a compact, easy-to-read body, killer specs. Is it still worth to buy in 2025? It records 4K 60 frames per second or 2.6K in 120 frames per second in 12-bit Blackmagic RAW and 10-bit ProRes, both in different compressions depending on your needs in file sizes and image quality. It has micro four thirds sensor, which is very easy to adapt to any mount. And you can use speed booster that adds one stop of light to the lens and gives you wider field of view, bigger than Super 35 or APS-C. It has dual native ISOs in 400 and 3200, 13 stops of dynamic range. Can record on CFast, SD cards and external SSDs. No overheating, 5-inch screen, very easy to use menu, professional exposure tools, shutter angle, time code, time lapse, and comes with DaVinci Resolve Studio license. On the body, microphone and headphone jack, full-size HDMI port, 12-volt charging port, USB-C for external recording, and mini XLR port for audio. On and off switch, 3 customizable function buttons, white balance, shutter speed, ISO buttons, stills and record button, and second record button if you need it, stereo onboard microphones, Canon LP battery slot, CFast and SD card slot, auto aperture and autofocus buttons. Autofocus is not continuous. High frame rates button, it's like S&Q mode on Sony. Magnifier for nailing the focus, although it's easy enough with this big screen and focus peaking function. Menu button and play button. All these high-end cinema camera functions aside, this camera stands out to this day because of its excellent image quality. Detail is very well handled. It doesn't have clinical digital look while maintaining the sharpness. Blackmagic Gen 5 color science is amazing, very easy to color grade. Highlight roll-off, good. Dynamic range is good. Blackmagic design, still to this day they provide updates for this camera. One of the latest updates was recording gyro data in Blackmagic RAW. And even though this camera does not have internal image stabilization, you can stabilize it in post, which works very well. And speaking of gyro data, while rolling shutter isn't bad, it's still present. And if you need to get rid of it, you stabilize the footage with gyro data at 0 strength, and it gets rid of most of rolling shutter. Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K performs very good in low light. Dual native ISO is great. You can go up to 6400 ISO easy. Add a small amount of denoising if you want to clean it up a bit. It's very easy to denoise. Now every camera has negatives. This one is no exception. I've solved every one of these problems. Well, the ones that I consider problems. Small sensor size, speed booster. No IBIS, gyro data, or simple camera strap for everyday use. Plastic build, I added skin that protects it from scratches, and camera cage. No flip out screen, add any monitor. Battery life, and PF adapters or power banks. You'll need this blind spot cable and PD power bank. No autofocus, no problem for me. But the greatest thing about this camera is the price. You can get it for $1,300 new, and it comes with DaVinci Resolve Studio license, which separately is $300. But now you can get this camera used for $700, $800 depending on conditions, which is insane value. Even though this camera is more than 6 years old now, in my opinion, image quality hasn't evolved too much since then. Yes, we have new AI processing, crazy autofocus, higher resolution, but 12-bit RAW and 10-bit ProRes is still the best specs for prosumer cameras in 2025. Even though this camera is definitely not for everyone, mainly because of the lack of continuous autofocus and flip-out screen, it's great camera for everyone who is or wants to be a filmmaker, content creator and cinematographer who wants to learn how to use a cinema camera and get stunning images for a very affordable price. This camera has taught me so much, overcoming problems, learn how to use proper cinema camera, nailing manual focus. I'm very grateful for this camera. If I was starting out right now, I would still get this to start my filmmaking journey.